Shalom. Grand Rise in Israel. Blessings, everybody. Hope y'all having a good experience in this world. Currently, those that are woke know what's going on. Enjoying y'all blessings, all praise to the Most High, the Most High own. Just to bring y'all up to speed on my diet. I'm still at it. I'm on grapes today. And salad. Situated. And get news too, you go snack pack. It's going real good. It's real talk. No issues at all. No hunger. I usually save in my GPS. My truck's GPS gets me to locations. You can save destinations, and a lot of them. Previously, I have saved a lot of restaurants, and when I was just out there in Alabama, North Carolina, South Carolina, all that, I was coming across a lot of Mexican food restaurants, and I was like, man, I was about to tap my screen and save it, and I said, for what? I'm not eating this mess no more, man. All praise to the Most High. It's amazing. And I just talked with 3 of my friends, cousins, family, and etc. stuff, who have taken that vaccine. And it's now coming out that Dr. Fauci, his emails were leaked. And in the emails, he's basically saying that this is an experiment. And he's exposed. So now he's on the stand testifying or being questioned. I don't know what it's related to because I ain't been following current affairs like that. But he was caught lying under oath. And so I talked to a couple of friends and family members recently. Just random conversations, man, that I could hear it in their voice, you know, that they screws in their heads are turning because they're now realizing they've been guinea pig, you know, all at their expense though, you know. I know they worry, you know, because they're trying to figure out what they just allowed in their body. But anybody who's taken that shit, you've had ample warning. One, this government is not doing shit for you for free at all. You still paying taxes. How you getting free shit? You ain't got no affordable health care. How you getting free shit? So all these red lights, cowbells going off and everything, and everybody thinking they still, you know, came up on a lottery ticket. Yeah, your number been called, all right. So I'm seeing this, man, and I'm not celebrating their misery, but understand this. This is the power of the Most High. He's weaving out all those that are against him in this world, following other idols and man, belief in these liars, known liars. You're going to get what's assigned to you. And just so happened, all these people, anybody that's taking that shot, your number was called. That's it. It ain't no reversing it, you know. I've had some family members and a close friend of mine, matter of fact, I said to him, I said, hey man, I just talked to your brother, man. Cause I'm thinking he got some sense. So I just talked to your brother, man. He told me he took that shot. He told me he wasn't gonna take it. He said, man, I ain't gonna even lie, man. I just took it too, man, because I'm looking to travel in August. I'm like, nigga, I'm a truck driver. I've been traveling. Y'all know what's been cool, man. Most High ain't playing with nobody. Think about it. I'm a truck driver. This is an industry. We've got emails asking us if we would like to volunteer to take the vaccine. They're not pushing that shit. They can't find drivers today. You look out there on the road, you see all these trucks. You see a lot of trucks, but you ain't understanding. They had a shortage. Nobody wants to drive. Nobody wants to be dedicated to this supply and demand. There's not enough drivers. You got too many people on drugs and wanting to be home in the middle of shit every day that ain't ready to dedicate to this volume needed. You think this industry, for the people that do got, the companies that do got drivers, you think they about to bombard us with a mandate on taking some poison, some mysterious experiment shit? You gonna see, they gonna lose 30% of their workforce that they already behind on. You think they gonna take a risk on taking a hit on the manpower? They know it's some bullshit to it. That's why we ain't even been propositioned with it. And despite that, these Edomites, these white guys, they ain't going. They think this is a Biden pushed agenda and everything. They ain't going. White folks ain't going. The rednecks, the hillbillies, the Edomites. And like I say, this is the conversation from my people that they want to travel. Even with my father, what he said, and what he did. My father got 2 sons that drive trucks, 2 CDL drivers. It ain't even dawned on him to think that his kids are already traveling and not even inquire or ask, are we vaccinating, or what are y'all doing? Why wouldn't you ask somebody to test the waters? I'm out here, man, I ain't caught so much as the hiccups. This stuff is very real, but you must understand, it's the stuff over time they've been putting in our food, in our water, in the air, to poison us, to weaken our immune systems. So whatever they created, which is man-made, it was designed to attack those bodies that are not healthy already. Whether you want to believe you weren't, or that you are healthy, or somebody was healthy and caught it, to the contrary. The Most High puts everything naturally on this earth to heal and treat and nourish our bodies and keep us healthy. He never, ever, the Most High God that creates and destroys. I'm not talking about your Jesus that you bought into, who only is found in the New Testament, who has created or destroyed shit. The Most High wouldn't take his creation and give it to man to introduce chemicals to cure you. This is evil. It's witchcraft. An experiment. We got, our people are just gone. But like I said, if you weren't able to do your walk up into getting that poison, you're gonna have to sit down, accept the fact that some way, some form or fashion, this information has came across you, or something has came across you to get you to pay attention, and you ignored and denied the Most High, who has tried to warn his people. You chose other options. This is your kingdom. This is as good as it gets. The kingdom to come is not for you. I don't want to sound cold, disrespectful, but it is what it is. I mean, you're not getting the red beam put on you, and they're not gonna avoid squeezing the trigger. This is all done by design, and for those who couldn't receive the Most High. These heathens have got you. So I'm gonna what's up? Let me do that salad real quick. Not. But I was also watching a video with it just came across my stream. I'm not even gonna share it, but they brung out. Remember I shared with y'all about the brother Yaki and how he greets on his introductions and everything. Well, it just happened to come through my feed. Some Israelite gathering of people who praise Yahweh Shai Jesus, also in their ignorance, praising an idol. They also praise the Most High, but they think that he got a son out of the New Testament. They're on their video attacking that brother, and they brought out some things that I had brought to y'all attention, not in the form of attacking, just letting y'all know when I introduced it, that I didn't know why he was making those statements of, his introduction to the peace to the gods and the earth, gods being plural. And these brothers and these sisters brought this out and showed where he got that from. It's from the 5% nation, those Islamic following Allah. It's the verbiage from their teachings. Peace to the gods and the earth means the gods of the earth, meaning they consider man to be a god. And they also brought out something that he was wearing a chain with the Anarchy on it, which has something to do with the Buddhists and that little Indian. Matter of fact, voila. That little Indian sitting and praying in Indian style or whatnot. These characters. Y'all might be wondering why I got this. I'm gonna share this with y'all, why I got this book. And I don't let it touch my book. And I also got that one. So what that Enaki is the meditation guide. And part of his teachings is on spiritually healing the body, not only from what the Most High created, natural herbs and dietary and everything, but he also in his teachings teach about the meditation, which is part of witchcraft in Hinduism, their teachings. I personally don't find nothing wrong with meditating. I've never meditated. I look at meditation as like sitting down, being quiet, and just resting. If it's something deeper than that, like I said, I'm not into it. If it is something to it, I would recommend don't subscribe to it, because these are the things, the practices and the teachings of other gods that got us into this condition under the curses of Deuteronomy. Following other idols, lesser gods, other people's understandings in man's ways against what the Most High writ in the commandments for us to have as an owner's manual, as an instruction of how to operate. That's where a lot of our people have gotten confused and programmed in this world. They're not understanding this Bible is about two gods. This is how I'm going to break it down and explain it to you. It's got to do with the original testament, which they call the Old Testament, which Ishmael, the Arabs, hijacked and created the Quran. The Quran is nothing but the Old Testament, but they wrote in their own prophets, Muhammad, etc., and created their own God, Allah. And it's funny because I made a comment on one of those pages watching a video about Allah, and someone came on and said to disrespect Muhammad is to disrespect the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob of the Israelites. And I said, what are you talking about? I said, Muhammad got a different God he serves. He serves Allah. And he goes, no, Muhammad and Moses were basically twins. Where the fuck did you get that from? I ain't never heard of a prophet of the Leviticus blood of the Levites named Muhammad that was Moses' twin. Moses had a brother named Aaron who was a Levite, who were all priests or Levites. In the New Testament, you get a new God who is Jesus, Yahweh Shai. He's supposed to be a priest, a prophet, of the Most High and his son, but he's from the tribe of Judah, the bloodline of Judah. When all the priests of the Most High came from the Leviticus Levi blood. So this is where you can see the New Testament is their introduction of lies that they intertwine with some truth of the Old Testament to make it look valid. This is where you get the confusion from. So a lot of people don't want to let go, understanding that this kid that's introduced, Jesus, Yahweh Shai, is the creation of the Most High and of the Most High himself. Stupidity. Which wouldn't explain why we were cursed and sentenced to Deuteronomy as a curse if we were sentenced to a curse. How would we have a Savior to save us, but we're serving a sentence? It don't make no sense. So this is the confusion with the Bible, and when people can't understand how strong their programming is, and it's simply that simple to unlock, to understand. I came across this 5-minute Bible reading, this book. This was like $7 at a store. It's basically elementary to teach your children about religion, because that's all religion is. It's man-made of another God, a lesser God. Our writings and our instructions are commandments, an owner's manual for the children of Israel. It's not a religion. It's owner's manuals, operating instructions for a special people, his people only. So in this book, like I said before, I showed you all this, got a little glossary in there and everything. Well, you go right here, New Testament. First chapter says Jesus is born. Okay, but I thought he was created. If you listen to other people trying to justify Jesus, they try to say he was created at the beginning of time and fabricate some scriptures out of the original Testament to justify that. But right here it tells you Jesus is born. Okay, now if they want to say he was created already, then he was born. Okay, but he was of immaculate conception. How was he born? Confusion, man. So then, go to the Old Testament, right? Go through all this. Check this out, though. This is what I shared with y'all before. They clearly know who we are. Go to page 102. God's people made slaves, captured. That's detailing the tribe of Judah, Benjamin, Levi, and Judah. The southern tribe of the 12 tribes of Israel, the Negroes, the Haitians and Jamaicans, the darker melanated people of the 12 children of Israel. Okay, go to 102. Knowing what I just shared with you, and let's say you are the first time listening to this, knowing what I just said to you, listen what they know and try to decipher what they're trying to hide, knowing why we wasn't allowed to read as slaves. Put all these pieces of the puzzle. It says it came from 2 Kings 24 and 18 and 25 and 21 and 2 Chronicles 36 and 15 through 23. Okay? Over and over, God had warned his people not to worship idols, but they kept right on doing what God had told them not to do. So finally, God let an enemy capture his people and take them from the land he'd given them. They were taken far away to a place called Babylon. It was a sad day. And out of all these pages in this book, 100 85 pages. This is the only page that describes us in camouflage, who God's people are. But then you got Jesus, the creation of man, in their lives. Like I said, people were going through. Let me explain this here. I was at a hotel, and you know how they usually have the Bibles in the drawers or whatever. So this is one of their pieces donated to me. It must have been an Indian area or something like that, but they had this, and that's the only reason why I keep this. I've never read it. I'm not even interested in trying to figure out how they operate. If I use it for, I ain't gonna say I even use it. I have it for if something come across my understanding about them, I can find it documented, proving their lives or their existence or factual understanding of them. That's what this is for. So, yeah, that's. And like I said, when I share with y'all, people like Yaki, information, the dietary stuff is flawless. Like I said, with GOCC, the teaching on the calendar is flawless. They're in idolatry, nevertheless. Anything that you have to question of somebody, you should question. Study and show yourself approved. None of us, when I say none of us, these guys that classify themselves, Yaki, GOCC, as teachers, elders, etc., they're nonetheless. And I'm getting comfortable in saying that because I don't want no one to get it twisted. Your soul is at stake. Your salvation is at stake. The kingdom to come is at stake. So, the most any of us are that's teaching or sharing or contributing are vessels of the Most High to get an understanding. And you're to discern what's true or what's not. I mean, it's pretty obvious. I know some people. Now, if you have this issue, then you got other issues. I know some people that keep hearing truth, validating that Jesus is not God's son, and that he is a creation of the heathens, the Edomites, the Gentiles, the white man. They'll hear the factual, hear the scriptures, see the proof, and yet they want more proof. And understand this, all you're telling the Most High is you don't believe him. You want another stone to carry to prove that Jesus is not. But you haven't gave the Most High that much foundation understanding. Example. A lot of our people out here just think coming into this truth that it's too hard because of the laws. Being the Sabbath, let's say. Now, this is the law of the Sabbath. This is how I practice it. Come Friday, I get all my worldly stuff out the way, my business. That means going in the stores, purchasing anything. So I'm not at a counter. When the sun falls, I'm out of the way. Now, you don't have to do anything else until Saturday the sun falls. I mean, if you need to go to the club, go bowling or something, you could do it Saturday after the sun falls. Saturday after the sun falls. How hard is that? I'm gonna give you an example. Okay, I drive trucks. I drive to where my drive time runs out, and on Friday, I'm out of drive time. It ain't always permitted like that. The Most High knows my heart though, so sometimes I have to drive. But what I do, even if I have to drive, I know this in advance. So I can still go to my store and make my purchases of things that I need to nourish my body or whatever to stay out of the stores. I at least can do that much. The Most High knows that, and I know it because I'm still getting blessings. But that's not to say that I look forward to that. But I'm saying He will move these curses out of your way once you comply. At least make the the initiative, the effort. People are not willing to do that. But if this world, this government, these heathens, Babylon, America, makes it a law that you can't go in the store the same way they made it a law that you must put on a mask to go in a store for a few seasons or whatever, and that shit faded out. But anyway, if they made it a law, everyone would comply. So how are the laws of the Most High so hard to even attempt? Or even entertain it? Oh, I can't do that, I can't do that. But you did it for this. You stop at a red light when it flicks red. Everyone has enough excuses, but ain't understanding how the Most High is evaluating the interviews. And like I said, for everybody that's taking the vaccine currently, recently, and then still going to entertain it even after knowing what they know now, your number's already been called. That's all it is. You know, whether you understand that or accept it, it is what it is. There's no getting out of line. So, I want to share with y'all something real quick. Again. Just something I do. Try to share with y'all. All praise to the Most High. Let's see how this goes.
Come to ethnicity, religion, language, or other factors, and every single place has its own unique feel and environment that creates a beautiful mosaic even when observed on a map. And as many of you know, there are few things that I love more than observing, admiring, and creating maps. I've been working on this most recent project for so long and so diligently that every time I close my eyes, every time I dream, I see maps and shapes and colors. Or maybe that's just me and I've gone completely insane. For instance, what do the countries of Ethiopia, Malta, Niger, and Syria all have in common? All are dominated by members of the Afro-Asiatic language family, meaning they all have a common origin. Yet all these countries undoubtedly have extremely varying ethnic makeups, so although language is generally a pretty good indicator of a common ancestry between people groups, this is not always the case as bloodlines become diluted over time and distance. Now, this project was extremely difficult because there was a lot of conflicting and inaccurate information out there when I was trying to construct the map. However, I placed precedent on government censuses and other officially sanctioned statistics to create the most accurate snapshot of our entire world in the year 2018. And this map was based on genotype, as in genetics and haplogroups, phenotype, as in physical appearance, and self-identification, which could lead to some discrepancies between various regions, but I feel like I got the most accurate picture possible. Also, I realized that not every square inch of the Earth is inhabited by humans, but I filled in the gaps between them. For instance, if the area between Group A and Group B was uninhabited, I would fill in the gap as to the best of my ability and knowledge. And this is how most demographic maps are created, seeing how humans obviously don't cover 100% of the Earth's land surface. This map by Alphonse Eilenberg was a pretty good start, but it wasn't quite detailed enough for my taste, so I decided to up the resolution by around 500%. And shockingly, there are virtually no modern, detailed, or accurate global maps on racial identification, with most racial maps of the world predating World War II. So I had to take in what I could get from the internet and start from scratch, and after viewing this, I decided to start simple with a small base map, added a little bit of detail to get started, and perfect. Now I knew I could start with the confidence and vision I needed. Now, I know there are some who argue that race is a social construct, which is a stance I disagree with, and blah-de-blah. In the end, who really cares what you call it? The baseline is that humans can and are classified into groups and subgroups based on physical appearance, ancestral lineage, and self-identification. Now, one thing I will agree on is that the lines between certain racial groups can be very ill-defined and be incredibly blurred in certain situations. So in order to create the most detailed, accurate picture, I defined 64 separate ethno-racial categories. And believe it or not, one of the most difficult aspects of this project was getting a proper color classification scheme for the various races of the world. And this alone took hours. Various European peoples are represented by the color blue, Africans by green, South Asians by purple, East and Southeast Asians yellow, yeah, I know it wasn't intentional, Middle Eastern and North African groups in orange, Native Americans in red, Pacific Islanders in brown, and those of recent multiracial descent in various shades of gray.
And this where confusion comes in, dealing with man and their interpretations on things. You can take some of this as truth, as a gauge, using discernment. You know, this isn't going to be a cakewalk of understanding. I'm sharing this with you to show that man's interference has some validity and understanding, but it also offers confusion. And if you can't discern, you can get twisted real quick in their theories. Like when he said for African, the Hebrews, Noah had 3 sons, Japheth, Ham, and Shem. Shem is the progenitor of us, the children of Israel. We're not African. We came from the continent of Africa. Jerusalem is in the continent of Africa, which we fled into the interior of Africa. Africans sold us. Africans are Hamites. They sold Shemites into slavery. So him not understanding the genealogy of Noah's 3 sons can throw this whole understanding off. If that makes any sense, you know, understanding the 3 sons of Noah, to start gauging and understanding or discerning material coming out of sharings or teachings like this. And as you notice, when they show the map of Africa, they detail showing the continent of Africa, excluding one fact. This is Jerusalem. This is where we're from. You see this? We fled into Africa. We're Shemites. We're not Africans. When we were sold into slavery, it said Negroes for sale. Negroes are Shemites. It didn't say Africans for sale. They knew who we were.
Region starting with the most commonly accepted birthplace of mankind, Africa. Just by looking at the continent, you can tell that not every country has had the luxury of deciding their own international borders, and if many around the world had developed organically, the borders of the world would look incredibly different. The northern 25% of the continent is clearly dominated by Semitic and Berber peoples, although there is considerable overlap and gradation between North Africans and Sub-Saharan Africans, who, speaking of which, are very far from being a homogeneous group. The Nilo-Saharan and Horn African peoples actually managed to stretch quite a ways up north, while there are some much smaller Arab tribes located in southern Chad and northern Cameroon, although the status of these tribes as true Arabs is called into question regarding the fact that they have an immense amount of admixture from the surrounding African sources.
They continue to promote Shem as Sem, which there is no son of Noah named Sem. The proper term is Shem, Shemitic, not Semitic people. So when you get into the, like I say, not being able to discern or understanding the true definitions and terminology of what is true and start taking in their interpretations, you get lost. They keep promoting Africans and doing away with us. So let's see what the Most High says about that. Let's read it again. Psalms 83. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they hate that thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation, which means nationality, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, white people, and the Ishmaelites, Arabs, and of Moab, Asians, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, Ammon, and Amalek, and the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre, the Hamites, the Africans. The Most High crossed every T and dotted every I for understanding. You got to be able to discern and see this. wanted to share with y'all. I'm not a preacher, I'm not a teacher. I'm simply sharing. And I came across some understanding. I know a lot of us are familiar with the Leviticus, who are the Levites, the bloodline of Levi, who are the Leviticus priests of the Most High God, his prophets, etc. Well, some of us know about the Leviticus chest plate that they wear called the ephod, which is displayed in this chest plate 12 stones representing the children of Israel, one stone for each tribe. Every stone is different and unique to the tribe, just like the children of Israel are today. All of the same blood, but this world ignorantly identifies as nationalities. Very unique. So I want to share with y'all as I'm learning and observing some understanding of this. Now, this ain't to say that this is something that we have to understand for salvation, but it's just simply something to share, and it's giving more validation to the power of the Most High and his understanding. So I'm gonna share with you. I'm gonna chop it up because the brother that's sharing this is a brother that follows the Most High, but yet he praises Yahweh Shai, a creation out of the New Testament. And I'm gonna chop it up as much as I can, deleting those insertions as he keeps saying it, which there's no need to introduce you to another God. There's only one creator, the Most High.
God is one. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart and all thy soul and all thy might. Shalom shall say that the Levitical priest would wear on their chest during their rituals. Alright? Each one of these stones stand for one of the 12 tribes of Israel. Alright? As you can see here, the Levitical priest wears 12 stones for 12 different tribes. I wanted to get into what different stones they are, but right, even their shalom, even their molecular makeup is different from one another. That means they emit a different light, every one of them, right? They emit a different light, so they're reflecting a different light of the spectrum, which is different frequencies, right? Light waves come in frequencies, like red is a high frequency light wave, and black and purple will be a lower, slower, longer wave, more mounts, rounder and longer, and then the red would be like a fast, sharp sound waves, or not, they're the same thing. Light waves and sound waves, right? The way they come at your eye, the way your eye reads them. So red is real sharp and fast and goes up and down really quick. And like purple or something would be slow and long and round, right? So with blue, white, I'm not sure how white's light wave looks like, but my point is the 12 tribes of Israel are going to be diverse. And priest's chest in every one of these stands for a different tribe. So this means not every one of them have their own special characteristics. And from the beginning, alright? And it's right worth. See, I'm going to go through the speckled bird, the speckled and spotted sheep. These are all scriptures that I'm going to get into. Diverse fruits from 12 different trees. 12 and 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, and come to devour. So the Most High set us up to be cursed and be destroyed by our enemies now because we perform his law, statutes, and commandments, right? This is how he get down. He showed you right on the ephod what he had planned to do from the beginning. All right? And it's right here in the 12 stones. First Jeremiah 12 and 9. My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird. The birds round about are against her. Come ye, assemble all the beasts of the field, and come to devour. So the Most High set us up to be cursed and be destroyed by our enemies now because we perform his law, statutes, and commandments, right? So these are the people on the earth that are going to be under this curse still. That, the enemy come from far, just like it's saying Deuteronomy 28:49, from the end of the earth, right? And all these heathen nations are going to devour your land, take your resources, this and that, right? This is a curse that the children of the Most High God are going to be under right now. We're under punishment, right? But if it wasn't for this punishment, I would never be talking to you brothers.
I'm gonna get more into that as I come across more material and share with y'all. Like I said, I just find it interesting, and I just wanted to share it with y'all. I don't have anything significant to add to that as far as any understanding, but it's just interesting to see how all things are making sense and seeing the power of the Most High. So this is just another added little piece I want to add on here for our northern tribe, Northern Kingdom people, being the Native Indians, the Hispanics, Puerto Ricans, Latinos, etc., of the children of Israel. Get it? Okay.
So today we're going to be talking about Afro-Mexicans. Afro-Mexicans were brought to Mexico from West Africa by European Spanish slavers and explorers from Spain. From the 1500s to the 1800s, more than 200,000 West Africans were brought to Mexico, and many died on the trip to Mexico. These Africans were brought to the port of Veracruz in Mexico. After reaching the port, the Spanish Europeans would sell them inland. This was at one time the biggest area for Afro-Mexicans, but now many live in Costa Chica region on the southeastern side of the country in other parts of Mexico. During the 3 centuries that European Spaniards ruled over Mexico, many Africans enslaved would die from harsh labor and bad living conditions. Mexico actually, for a time, in the early 1600s, had the largest population of enslaved Africans in Central, South, and North America. With numerous industries Africans were used in, many Africans mixed with other indigenous populations. Like other Africans throughout the Americas, many Afro-Mexicans would escape to the mountains and create communities. Gaspar Yanga, one of the most famous escaped slaves, established the most significant free community in the state of Veracruz in 1570. This community evaded the Spanish for almost 40 years and is also known as San Lorenzo de los Negros. In 1932, this community was renamed in honor of Yanga. Afro-Mexicans contributed everything in the War of Independence from Spain and Spanish rule for Mexico. It is said that Afro-Mexicans in the Mexican army were the first to initiate the independence struggle. The Dark Army, or a sector of Mexican army during the Independence War, had many revolutionaries in it. One of the Afro-Mexican revolutionaries, General Vicente Guerrero, became the second president of Mexico. Afro-Mexicans also helped develop the country in many industries such as silver mines, farming, labor, and sugar plantations. Other influences to Mexico through music also shapes modern Mexican music as well. The famous song, known all around the world as La Bamba, or La 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 Bamba has African origins. This belongs to the well-known Carocho music genre. Even with contributions to the country, Afro-Mexicans were not involved in country politics. Afro-Mexicans also dealt with being considered a foreigner in their own country. Migrating to other parts of the country, local populations would think Afro-Mexicans were from Cuba or Belize and that they were immigrants. Mexico, in 2005, released its first national survey on discrimination in Mexico and left out Afro-Mexicans. In the same year, stamps were released of the 1940 comic book Neiman Penguin with over-exaggerated African features. Many African American civil rights groups called out this exaggeration and noted that Africa was a continent with many looks and many features, not just big noses and big lips. The Mexican government replied and said that this was part of Mexican history and that black people in North America took this situation out of context. Many Mexicans and Afro-Mexicans in some community groups called out the Mexican government for this event. Within the same time, the government created the Third Root program, which created TV programs to promote African history and heritage in Mexico. Veracruz has shown an uptick in Afro-Mexicans doing African influence, Son Carocho music. When leaving Veracruz, many Afro-Mexicans are still looked at as outsiders. In some occasions, Mexican army soldiers will ask Afro-Mexicans to sing the national anthem to see if they are truly from the country. Afro-Mexicans were officially included in Mexico's census for the first time in 2020. So yo guys, today we learned a bit about Afro-Mexicans. Please like and subscribe and turn on the bell notification down there so you...
And that should give you an understanding just listening to the verbiage. In Mexico, they call black people, or dark Mexicans, Negro. They don't call them African. Africans are truly something different. They're Hamites or Shemites. And this is all part of programming. If you can start to decipher and discern and see what's truly going on. We are blessed people. And it's going to be to your benefit to wake up, to understand your heritage. When they speak about Spaniards are Edomites, white people, blue-eyed. There's blue-eyed Mexicans, those are Spaniards. Those are Edomites. Those are the ones who colonialized and enslaved those people of the Northern Kingdom. The Pope is an Edomite. That's why the Pope, Catholicism, they speak Latin, Spanish. Those are the people who colonized and did that to those people over there. All praise to the Most High. Stay focused, y'all. Blessings. Shalom.